One hill I'm willing to die on right here, right now, and I don't care what anybody says, is that Batman Arkham City in 2011 should have won Game of the Year. Of course, they got a Game of the Year edition game out, but it really, wasn't fair because people are like, oh, Skyrim's so much better. But that's not why you're here. Why you're here is we're going to talk about Max. Because come find out, Max, HBO, formerly HBO Max, whatever you want to call it, right? Actually was in development of a Batman series that takes place in this universe. So let's get into this article. Let's talk a little bit about it. And let's talk about Batman Arkham City, man. Let's go. And by the way, it wasn't Arkham City. Like, the series falls under the Arkham Asylum, banner. And, Arkham City is just, in my opinion, the best one out of all four of the games. Because, you got Arkham Asylum first one, Arkham City, Arkham Knight, in that order. And then, of course, there was Arkham Origins as well that actually was before that. All four of the games are great. I will say that all four of the games are great. Arkham City, hands down, is my favorite. Anyways, Arkham Asylum series is dead for now as Max opts not to move forward with the current version. That, to me, sounds like they don't know what to do with the series. Like, I guess it's been in development for almost 2 years, back in October 2022. Anyways, the Arkham Asylum TV series, which is set to expand on DC's Batman universe, is reportedly no longer happening at Max, which doesn't surprise me. Why? Because Max has actually been moving into, I guess you can say, the reality TV space. And why are they moving into reality TV space? Because it's easy to make and it's cheap. That's why Warner Brothers Discovery has been moving a bunch of stuff over to the HBO banner, and you can watch, 30 Day Fiance or 90 Day Fiance, wherever it is, in My 600-Pound Life. Variety says the show will no longer move forward as at the streamer. Antonio Campos has signed on as the showrunner back in October 2022, but his version of the story will no longer continue. The site sources adds that a story set within Gotham's twisted Arkham Asylum could still come to fruition in the future. You know what it sounds like? This is just my opinion, right? 100% what they need to do if they're looking to build a Arkham universe, get a comic book writer. Get somebody that works in the space. Get somebody that loves Batman, that loves the source material. Get somebody that will do something amazing. Frank Miller, for example. Like, he's had his hands in, Sin City, all that stuff. And he created, Return of the Dark Knight. In my opinion, is one of the greatest graphic novels of all time. Get somebody that works in the comic space to really flush out a story and make something great. Instead of, I have no idea who Antonio Campos is. It's just one of those things, like, you just gotta, come up with some kind of good story and really, really, like, push it forward. It's saying here, Antonio Campos, here, we'll pull it over. I Googled him, by the way. He is an American filmmaker and producer, best known for After School, Christie, Devil All the Time. See, I've never even heard of this guy. And, I mean, I'm sure he's made some good stuff, but at the end of the day, man, like, get somebody that works in the comic industry to really flush out a really good story. If you don't want a failure, do that. The Arkham series was originally announced in 2020 and originally had nothing to do with the iconic Batman. Instead, the show was sold as a story centered on the Gotham City Police Department that was set before the events of Batman. Like, it sounds a lot like Gotham when they put it that way. I think that it would have been terrible if they would have done it that way. Because I didn't care for the Gotham series. They really, like, jumped the shark. 1 year, and the showrunner later. The show was said to feature James Gordon, but director Matt Reeves then stated in 2022 that GCPD show would focus on the Arkham Asylum. That's the other thing that I think is interesting is when it comes to Batman, they actually have courses talking about his villains. Why? Because they're so rich, man. The There's people out there that will argue with me until they're blue in the face, but I don't care. At the end of the day, Batman has some of the greatest villains out there. And a lot of them actually suffer from real world mental issues and mental problems that they've turned into the story, you know? And I think if they were to do an Arkham series, do it based on Arkham. Do it based on like the different villains, and do an Orange is the New Black with DC villains if you really want to. That'd be kind of interesting. DC Studio co-CEO James Gunn eventually clarified that the Arkham Asylum series was separate from the world of Batman and would take place within the company's new universe, the DCU. Its rocky road has led to dead end for at least now. This is another thing. Like, don't get me wrong, I like James Gunn, but I feel like he is not the guy needed for the DCU. I mean, he was I will give it to James Gunn because he kind of was given, the shit end of a stick because, DC just been stumbling every time they turn around to really try to get something off the ground when it comes to DCU, the DC universe, whatever you want to call it. And like it's just going to be difficult for him. Like they gotta genuinely flush out some really good stories. 9 graphic novels you should know. I believe this is Superman All Star. Why is this not? Oh well, but yeah, they of course this is Booster Gold. They got this is Damian Wayne as Robin. This is actually Dick Grayson Robin, by the way, you guys. Booster. This is, I think that's Frankenstein. That's going to be Hal Jordan, Green Lantern, because you see the ring right there. This is Swamp Thing, Supergirl, Wonder Woman, Historia. I've been recommended this graphic novel. I just haven't read it. Sorry guys, like I'm over here clicking through this, but it's going to be interesting to see what he does. While Arkham Asylum is getting locked away, there are plenty of other Batman and DC stories along the way. The Penguin will bring Colin Farrell's crime boss to the small screen sometime this September. I've seen some screenshots for that, and I really enjoyed The Batman with Robert Pattinson. I think it was really well done. It's definitely a crime drama. It's not jumping the shark. It's more gritty and realistic. On top of that, it's saying The Batman Part 2 is slated to arrive October 2nd, 2026. Can't wait. Let's go. There's also the DCU setup Batman, the Brave and the Bold, which we'll see the Flash, Andy, blah, 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 directing, taking on the new character. So it's making me wonder if they're doing a Batman, Brave and the Bold, right, which it says right there, Batman, and it's going to be a movie. Who's going to be the secondary hero? Because Brave and the Bold's always going to be two heroes. So, like I said, with that being said, I'm kind of disappointed that this series is going that way. Let's go full screen. I really hope the way they can potentially save this is get somebody that writes comics, get somebody that loves the source material, and just flush out a story about Batman's villains and Arkham Asylum trying to, get through daily life. Something. Anyways, you guys, let me know down below, how do you feel about this? Do you feel good? Do you feel bad? Do you think James Gunn is taking too much creative freedoms? Do you think that, Max, whatever you want to call the HBO streaming service, is just trying too much and they are just going to fumble the bag, which I think they are. Because there's been a ton of stuff that they had that they've canceled, whether it's in production, post-production, even stuff that was probably weeks away from getting released. I mean, months away from getting released, and they just can't it, like the Batgirl movie. I think, personally, I'm going to just put this out there in the sphere. If these studios are using these as tax write-offs, and us as the taxpayer are paying the bill for the Batgirl movie, release it. Just put it out there because you already wrote it off. We paid for it. Let me watch and see Brendan Fraser as Firefly and see how good that Batgirl movie is, because I guarantee you it's probably dog shit. But, hey, we paid for it, so I might as well watch it. Y'all take it easy. Have a great, wonderful day, and I'll catch you later.